My friends are 10 minutes away. Don't embarrass me when they get here. That was the message. Not can we come. Not even we're outside. Just a warning. Like I was the problem. I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. And for a second, I swear I thought maybe he sent it to the wrong person. Then another message came in. I told them it's my place. Just go with it. That one didn't just land. It settled somewhere heavy. Because that wasn't him asking. That was him deciding. I looked around the house. Boxes still lined the walls, some half open, tape curling at the edges. A drawer sat on the floor with utensils spilling out like I hadn't finished claiming the space yet. The place still smelled like fresh paint and cardboard. 8 days. I had lived here for 8 days. My name is Adeline Harper, 39 years old. And this house, the one he had just claimed, was the first thing I had ever owned outright. No co-signer, no shared lease. No one else's name sitting next to mine. Just mine. I read his message again. My place. I said it out loud this time, quieter. Testing how it sounded outside my head, it still didn't make sense. Marcus had been here once before. 3 days ago. I had given him the gate code then, back when he offered to help bring in a few boxes. I hadn't changed it yet. I kept telling myself I would, once everything settled. I should have done it that night. I didn't, because that's how it always worked with him. He didn't push. He didn't argue. He just stepped in like there was no line to cross. And most of the time, I let him. I set my phone down on the counter, then picked it back up almost immediately. My hand felt colder than it should have. 10 minutes. That's what he said. I checked the time. 9 now. I could still lock the gate. Change the code. Call him and shut this down before it started. I didn't. Not because I couldn't. Because some part of me was still waiting to see if he would stop on his own. He never did before. I told myself maybe this time would be different. It wasn't. A low crunch of tires rolled up the driveway. Not one car. More. Closer than I expected. I didn't move right away. I just stood there, phone in my hand, listening as engines cut and doors opened. Voices followed. Laughter. Confident. Uncertain of nothing. And that was when it became clear. This wasn't him showing up. This was him arriving. Like the house had already been his before I ever stepped inside. The cars hadn't even stopped yet, and I already knew how this was going to go. I wish I didn't. But I did. My phone buzzed again. Marcus, open the gate. Not hey. Not we're here. Just that. I stared at it for a second, then hit call. He picked up on the second ring. Finally, he said, already annoyed. We're outside. You told people this is your place. I said. A pause. Then a laugh. Light. Dismissive. Relax. Addie. It's just easier. Easier for who? For everyone, he said. Don't make this weird. That word, weird. Like I was the one off here. I pressed my fingers into the edge of the counter. The tape peeled a little more under my hand. You brought people, I said. Without asking. I told you we were coming. That's not asking. Same difference. He shot back. We're family. There it was. That line he always used like it solved everything. I closed my eyes for a second. I could hear voices outside now. Doors slamming. Someone laughing too loud. Marcus, I said, slower this time. You can't just show up with 9 people and I didn't just show up. He cut in. I drove 2 hours. Don't act like I'm doing something crazy. You told them it's your house. Another pause. Longer this time. Then he said, quieter. You've got space. I don't see the problem. I actually felt something shift in my chest at that. Not anger. Not yet. Recognition. Because I'd heard that logic before. You've got extra. So it's fine. You're doing better than me. You can help just this once. I leaned back against the counter, phone pressed tighter to my ear. You said that when you needed rent money. I said, silence. You said that when your startup crashed. I kept going. You said that when you needed me to co-sign your lease. Okay. And he snapped. You helped. That's what family does. I gave you $200,000 over the years. Marcus, don't throw numbers at me like that, he said quickly. That's low. Low. I almost laughed. You never paid any of it back. I didn't ask you to keep score. No, I said, my voice coming out sharper than I expected. You just assumed I wouldn't. Outside, I heard someone shout, Yo, this place is insane. Marcus exhaled into the phone, like I was the one making things difficult. They're already here. Adeline, he said, don't do this in front of them. That was the part that landed. Not, don't do this. Don't do this in front of them. Like this wasn't about what he did. It was about how it looked. And suddenly, I understood something I should have seen years ago. He didn't need my help. He needed my life to look like his. I ended the call before he could finish. My hand stayed steady. That surprised me. For a second, I just stood there, listening to the noise outside grow louder, doors closing, voices carrying through the walls like they already belonged. Then my phone lit up again. Not a message this time. A notification. Marcus had posted. I opened it without thinking. A video, posted a few minutes ago. He was standing just outside the gate. My gate. The house behind him. Framed carefully like it was part of the story he was telling. Private weekend, he said, smiling into the camera. Only the real ones made the list. I watched it once. Then again. The caption sat right under it. Finally did it. Took a while. But this place is mine. Mine. I pressed my lips together. Slow. Because this wasn't just him talking anymore. This was him deciding what version of the truth other people would believe. I tapped into the comments. You bought this, bro. This is insane. And Marcus replying like it was effortless. Had to level up eventually. I let out a breath through my nose. Level up. With my code. With my house. I backed out and opened the home app. Front door, unlocked. Timestamp, 3 minutes ago. He hadn't waited. Of course he hadn't. I pulled up the camera feed. The angle showed the living room. Shoes scattered across the floor I hadn't even finished cleaning. Someone opening a cabinet without hesitation. Another walking down the hallway like they'd been there before. And Marcus center of it. Talking, moving, filling the space, not visiting, occupying, like there was no difference. I lowered the phone slightly, but I didn't look away. Because now I understood something I hadn't before. He wasn't stepping into my life. He was rewriting it. And if I didn't stop him, he'd make it look like I was never part of it at all. I didn't rush. Didn't raise my voice. I just walked toward the front door. Steady, like if I moved too fast, I'd lose control of something I was only just beginning to hold. It was already open. Of course it was. A man I didn't recognize stepped past me on his way out, carrying a case of drinks. Marcus said we could use the kitchen. He said, barely glancing at me. Not asking, just moving. I stepped inside. The air felt different, warmer, louder. Beer already open somewhere. Voices overlapping, shoes scattered across the floor I hadn't even finished cleaning. Hey, Marcus called from across the room. There she is. He walked toward me like this was normal, like this had been agreed on. You made it dramatic for nothing, he said, smiling. We're just getting started. Getting started with what I said. He gestured behind him. Just a weekend. Relax. A woman near the counter turned, phone still in her hand. This place is beautiful, she said. You guys did amazing. Guys. Marcus nodded like that belonged to him. Appreciate it, he said. I felt something tighten. That's not yours to appreciate, I said. The room shifted slightly. Not quiet. Just aware. Marcus reached for a drink, opened it, took a sip before answering. "You're doing that thing again," he said. "What thing?" "Making everything heavy. I told you to leave. You said that on the phone." He replied, "That's different." "No, it isn't." He finally looked at me, properly this time. "They're already here, Adeline. And that makes it okay. It makes it done." A man by the couch let out a small laugh. "Man, this is awkward," he muttered. Marcus shot him a quick look, then lowered his voice slightly. "Don't do this in front of them." There it was again. Not about what he did, about how it looked. "I'm not the one doing something in front of them," I said. He exhaled, like he was the patient one. "You've got 4 bedrooms, he said. "We're not even using all of them." I repeated. "Yeah, we—" From the hallway, a woman leaned forward. "Marcus said the upstairs room has the best view," she said. "Is that the master?" My chest tightened. Marcus didn't hesitate. "Yeah," he said. "That's mine. Mine." I stepped closer. "No," I said. He blinked, just once, then smiled again. Softer now. "Don't start," he said. "I'm not starting," I said. "I'm ending it." This time, the room didn't just shift, it held. Marcus studied me like he was seeing something unfamiliar. "You're serious?" he said. I didn't answer right away, because for the first time I wasn't trying to keep the peace. Nobody moved at first. That was the part that got me. Not the noise, not the people, the pause, like they were all waiting to see who actually owned the moment. Marcus broke it. He clapped his hands once, sharp. "All right, ignore that," he said, nodding toward me like I was background noise. "We're good." A few of them laughed, nervous, but they followed him. Of course they did. "Dylan, set up over there," Marcus said, pointing toward the living room. "Better light." "Got it," the guy with the camera said, already moving. "A woman, Tara. I heard someone call her walked past me with her phone up. This is crazy," she said. "Like, this angle, Marcus. Stand here." He stepped into position without hesitation. "Tell me when," he said. I just stood there, watching him take my space and use it. "Rolling," Dylan said. Marcus shifted his posture. Different now, smoothed out, like he'd put on a version of himself. "People think it happens overnight," he said to the camera. "It doesn't. You work, you grind, you build something real." I felt that one land, hard, because every word he said, every single one was mine, not his. "Say that again," Tara said. Slower. He nodded, ready to perform it better this time. "Marcus." My voice cut across it. Not loud, just enough. He didn't turn. "Hold on," he said to them. "Give me a second." Then, finally, he looked at me. "You're really doing this," he said under his breath. "You're filming in my house," I said. He stepped closer. "Lower your voice," he said. "You're making it weird. I'm making it real." He exhaled. Slow. "You've always had this thing," he said, "where everything has to be yours." I stared at him. "It is mine." "Yeah," he said. "Legally." "Sure." That word. Legally. Like that was the small part. Like everything else, the space, the moment. The story was his. Behind him, Dylan shifted the camera. "You ready or what he said?" Marcus didn't break eye contact with me. "Give me 2 minutes," he said. Then, softer. "Just for me. Don't ruin this." I felt something inside me go still. Not louder. Not angrier. Just still. Because suddenly I saw it clearly. He wasn't borrowing my house. He was building himself on top of it, and he expected me to stand there and let it happen. I stepped between him and the camera. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just enough. Dylan hesitated, the lens dipping slightly. Not off. Just uncertain. Marcus looked at me like I'd crossed something invisible. "Move," he said. "No." It came out steady. No shake. No second thought. He blinked once, like he needed a second to understand what he'd just heard. "Adeline," he said, voice tightening. "Don't do this. I am doing this." Behind him. Tara shifted, lowering her phone. "Marcus, maybe we should pause," she said quietly. He ignored her. "Step aside," he said again. "Slower now. We'll talk after." "No," I said. "We talk now. Or you leave now." The room changed, not loud, just aware. Dylan lowered the camera another inch. "Man, I don't think he started." "Stay out of it," Marcus snapped, without looking at him. Then back to me. "You're overreacting. You walked into my house," I said, "and told people it was yours. I said what I needed to say. For you. For everyone." He said, "You've got space. No one's getting hurt. You didn't ask. I didn't think I had to." That landed harder than anything else. I held his gaze. "That's the problem." He let out a short breath, running a hand through his hair. "You always do this," he said. "Make everything a boundary. Like it's all rules with you. It is a rule." I said, "It's my house." A quiet voice from the side cut in. "Wait, this isn't his place." Someone asked. Marcus didn't turn. "It's complicated," he said quickly. "It's not." I said. Silence followed. Not calm. Watching. Marcus looked around the room, like he needed it back on his side. "They're already here," he said. "You're going to throw everyone out over this." "Yes." No hesitation. No softening. Just the word. Even I felt it land. Tara stepped back slightly. "Marcus, you said you owned this," she said. His jaw tightened. But nothing followed, because there wasn't anything left to hold it up. He looked at me again, really looked, like he was trying to decide if I was bluffing. I wasn't. And for the first time he knew it. Marcus didn't raise his voice. That made it worse. He stepped closer, just enough to lower the space between us without anyone else fully hearing. "You really want to do this," he said quietly. "Right here, in front of them. I already am." He watched me for a second, not angry, measuring. Then something in his expression shifted. "You live here alone," he said. I didn't answer. "You've got all this space," he went on, glancing around. Half of it still empty. I felt that. Subtle. Precise. "It's mine." I said, "That's not what I asked." A chair scraped lightly behind him. Someone shifted, listening. Marcus leaned in just a little more. "You come back to this place every night," he said. "No one here, no one waiting. You don't even use it." There it was. Not loud, not cruel on the surface, but it went exactly where he wanted it to. I felt it press in, because he wasn't wrong about the silence. He was wrong about what it meant. "This isn't about you staying," he added. "It's just space. Adeline, it doesn't change anything." I let out a slow breath. "It changes everything." He shook his head, almost amused. "No," he said. "You're trying to make it mean more than it does." "No," I said, quieter now. "You're trying to make it mean less." That paused him. Just enough. He smiled slightly. Not warm. Not convinced. "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe I'm just saying what's obvious." I held his gaze. Because for a second, he almost got there. Almost made me step back into that version of myself that explained, adjusted, gave in, almost. But not this time. Not here. I didn't answer him right away. Not because I didn't have anything to say, because something had finally settled. Clear. Solid. This wasn't about the house. It wasn't about the money. It was about him deciding where I ended and me letting him stand there. I took a step back, not away from him, just enough to breathe. "You're right about one thing," I said. Marcus tilted his head. "Oh yeah, I've been letting you do this for years." That caught him, just for a second. "Adeline, I paid your rent," I said. "I covered your debts. I gave you $200,000. "You chose that," he said quickly. "And you never said no." Silence pressed in, not from the room, from him. He shifted, like something underneath him wasn't steady anymore. "This isn't the same," he said. "We're just here for a weekend. You told them this was yours." I said what I needed to say. "That's the problem. You always do." Behind him, Dylan spoke up, quieter now. "Marcus, we should probably go." "Not now," Marcus snapped, then back to me. "You're making this bigger than it is." "No," I said. "I've been making it smaller than it is." That landed. I saw it. Marcus's jaw tightened. "So what?" he said. "You're throwing everyone out over this." I looked past him, at the people in my kitchen, in my hallway, in rooms I hadn't even finished unpacking. "Yes," I said, no hesitation. He stared at me. "You're serious." "I am." A long second passed. Then he let out a short laugh. "You don't have the guts." Something in me went still, not angry, not loud, just finished. I turned, stepping away from him. "Everyone needs to leave," I said, clear enough for the room to hear. No one moved. Marcus didn't even turn around. "She's not serious," he said. "Relax." That was it. That was the last chance. I walked down the hallway into the small office, closing the door behind me. The sound was quiet, but it held. For a second, I just stood there, phone in my hand, breathing. Then I dialed. "Emergency services. My name is Adeline Harper," I said. "There are 9 people inside my home." I asked them to leave. They refused. A pause. "Are you safe right now?" "Yes." "Do you want officers dispatched?" I looked at the door, at the strip of light underneath it, at shadows moving past. "Yes, they're on the way." I lowered the phone. Outside, Marcus's voice was louder now, less controlled. For the first time since he arrived, he didn't sound certain. And for the first time in a long time, neither did I. But I didn't step back. The sirens came in low at first, then closer, then right outside. Everything inside the house shifted before the sound even stopped. "Did she actually call someone?" whispered. "No way." Another voice said, "That's insane." Marcus's voice cut through it. "She didn't call anything," he said. "She's bluffing." I opened the office door. Slow, deliberate. Every head turned when I stepped back into the hallway. The front door rattled under a firm knock. "Police." "Open the door." That did it. The room broke. "Yo, I'm not staying for this," Dylan said, already grabbing his camera. Tara lowered her phone. "Marcus," she said quietly, "you said this was your place." "It is," he snapped. Too fast. Another knock. Harder this time. "Open the door." I walked past them. No one stopped me. No one spoke to me. The power had already shifted. They just hadn't caught up to it yet. I opened the door. 2 officers stood there. One older, one younger. Calm. Focused. "Are you Adeline Harper?" the older one asked. "Yes." "Did you make the call?" "I did." He nodded once. "Who else is inside the residence?" 9 people. They entered without permission. I asked them to leave. They refused. Behind me. Marcus stepped forward. "This is a misunderstanding," he said quickly. "We're family. She's overreacting." The younger officer glanced past me, taking in the room, the people, the open drinks, the cameras. Then back to Marcus. "Is this your property?" "Sir?" she asked. Marcus hesitated, just for a second. Then, "Yes." I didn't even look at him. I have the deed, I said, in my name. The older officer turned back to me. You want them removed? Yes. Clear. Steady. No room left for anything else. He nodded again, then stepped inside. All right, he said, voice firm now. Everyone gather your belongings. You need to leave. The room reacted all at once. You serious? Come on. Man, I didn't sign up for this. Tara stepped back, shaking her head. You told us you owned this, she said to Marcus. You said you bought it. Marcus's face tightened. But there was nothing to say, because whatever version of reality he had built, it didn't survive this. Dylan slung his camera over his shoulder. Yeah, I'm out, he muttered. One by one, they started moving. Fast now. Not looking at Marcus. Not looking at me. Just leaving. Marcus stayed where he was, still, watching it fall apart around him. Then finally, he looked at me, and for the first time, he didn't look certain. The door closed behind the last of them. Not loud, just final. For a moment, no one spoke. One of the officers gave me a small nod. You're all set, ma'am. Thank you. Marcus was still there. Of course he was. He stood in the middle of the room, looking around like something had shifted without his permission. You really did that, he said. I didn't answer right away. I walked past him, picked up an empty bottle from the counter, and dropped it into the trash. You forced me to, I said. He exhaled sharply. No, he said. You chose this. I turned back to him. Yes, I said. I did. That landed. I saw it in the way his shoulders tightened. You threw me out, he said. You walked in like it was yours. We're family. That doesn't give you access. His jaw set. You're going to be alone here, he said. You know that, right? I held his gaze. I already was. I said, the difference is, now I decide who comes in. He didn't answer. The officer stepped forward. Sir, it's time to leave. Marcus looked at me one last time, like he was waiting for something to change. It didn't. He turned and walked out, and just like that, it was over. The house went quiet again, not untouched, not the way it was before, but still mine. I walked to the panel by the door and changed the gate code, then the front lock, removed his access. Saved it? Simple. Done. My phone buzzed in my hand, his name across the screen. I didn't open it. I turned the screen off and set it down. The room stayed quiet, not empty. Just mine.